Well, children's homes in KwaZulu-Natal say they are struggling to keep their doors open. The Child Welfare and Family Society of Pietermaritzburg is accusing government of neglect. The organization says the Social Development Department and the National Lotteries Fund owe it about 1.5 million rand. Lethiwe Mdluli has been taking a closer look and joins us live from Durban. Lethiwe, how bad is the situation in the province, and are these NGOs able to assist children?
Well, it's quite bad because right now they are calling it a crisis. They haven't been paid in about 2 months, and some organizations did not receive their subsidies for the month of January. So they don't have any money to buy food and assist the children that they have in those homes. And we do understand that over 140 child and youth care centers have been affected here in the province. We spoke to some of the youth care centers in Pietermaritzburg a bit earlier on, who did share that they had to even close some of their offices for the months of December and January, and so they were unable to assist people who needed help. And as a result of this, they're also saying that they are looking into getting government to sit down with them and actually explain why they failed to pay subsidies on time for the longest time. I actually spoke to the CEO of Child Welfare in Pietermaritzburg, Judy Todd, a bit earlier on, who said that they've been trying for the past 10 years to get the Department of Social Development here in the province to pay them on time, but unfortunately they haven't, so they pay them in areas every month. But for the past 2 months, unfortunately, they did not receive any payment at all, which has left the NGOs in dire crisis. Some of the youth care centers that we visited have children that are close to 30, but unfortunately for the months of January, they were unable to feed those children. They also shared that the department was offering them food vouchers for the months where they were not paid, but unfortunately when they found out how much those vouchers cost, they were not able to use them because each voucher they received was about 800. And the youth care center that we went to did say that they received 3 vouchers, so that means that they had to buy food for 30 children using that voucher, which was not enough. So a lot of problems are being faced by these NGOs, and it's crippling down to now social workers as well who have not been paid their salaries. So for the past 2 months, these social workers have had to find other means to make money to come to work. I spoke to them as well earlier on, who did share that they had to borrow money for transportation, for their own benefits as well, for their personal use. So they are asking for the government to intervene and just basically pay their salaries and pay these subsidies. While speaking to Julie Todd from Pietermaritzburg, this is what she had to say earlier on.
It's not a new problem. It has happened before, and unfortunately it has happened now twice in 3 months, where the subsidy has been paid on the very last day of the month or late. As you correctly said, some people have not yet received their subsidy for the month of December. This is because the Department of Social Development in KZN pays the subsidies in arrears. And so it's December money that people are still waiting for, and is negatively impacting on their services, it's negatively impacting on their staff. So for my own organisation, we did, fortunately, I can say that we did eventually receive our funds on the 31st of January. But when that comes into account, we still have to process it for payroll, and so staff only get paid then in the new month. This is the second time it happened in December as well. And as you know, that people have debit orders, stop orders and things like that come off, and it puts them in a very difficult position when their salary is not coming through. So we rely on it coming through earlier so we can make a timeliest payment to staff. It also impacts on the organisation that we're not able to pay bills. When we're living in a very tough economic times. With COVID, we had less opportunity to do fundraising. In the children's sector particularly, we do statutory services, which is a function of the state. We do it on the state's behalf. So the state, according to Section 105 of the Children's Act, should be funding those services, but only subsidise. So we have to find the additional funds, and funders do not want to fund what they see as being a government responsibility.
Now, it's quite heartbreaking that people are still waiting for money from December. Now, has the Department of Social Development responded on this?
I've spoken to the HOD for DSD here in the province, and they are saying that part of the reason why these NGOs were not paid was because they had a technical glitch on their system. But unfortunately, this was not communicated to majority of the NGOs that were affected. And this is the issue where you're expecting funds you're expecting to receive funds, if I may put it like that, and you get a surprise that the funds are not there. Now, the department is saying that they apologize for the inconvenience and they are promising that this will not happen again. But unfortunately, the NGOs are saying that it's been persisting for 10 years and they are not basically taking their word. They want a meeting with them and they are hoping that the department here in KZN will adopt the systems that other provinces are using, because in speaking to some of the social workers, they did say that other provinces are not actually experiencing the same problem that KZN is experiencing. But I did have a chance to speak to the HOD, and this is what she had to say.
We did not pay them in December and January. There was a technical glitch on our side on the system, but we did communicate with them in writing that there is a problem that we're trying to sort out. As a result, some were paid, and all of them will be paid tomorrow, which is the 8th of February 2023. And we have communicated with them as well to say the problem has been resolved and they will all receive their subsidies. That includes the non-profit organizations that we are in contract with, as well as the service providers that have a business with the department. That's why I was saying to you that those who are residential care facilities, who have people housed in their facilities, we have engaged with them to check if they still have enough food so that we come to their rescue whilst they're waiting for their subsidy. So that has been resolved, and to us it's no longer a crisis because we've resolved the matter. They are getting their subsidies tomorrow.